Okay? So we want to, Be'ezrat Hashem, start in our community over here in our sales, the Hazon Ovadia, Shabbat, Chelek Hey. And we spoke already a few days about this, but we was not on recordings. And Baruch Hashem, now we're on recordings. So we're going to quickly recap and go further. So the first halakha we spoke about is the definition of tzovea. You know, on Shabbat, one of the 39 melachot of Shabbat is tzovea, coloring. Not majority of the people are aware of only maybe one or two melachot on Shabbat, which is fire, electricity. Many people have no clue about the other 39 melachot we have, 37 or 6 melachot we have. So one of them is tzovea, coloring. On Shabbat, we're not allowed to color. It says Rav Ovadia that the amount of coloring for it to be d'oraita, it has to be arba'at tefahim. It has to be a measure of a string that you can color the size of 4 tefahim, 4 fists. If it's less than that, it's called hatzi shiur. Hatzi shiur in halachot Shabbat, it's not ma'Torah. That's the bottom line. It's machloket, but it's not ma'Torah. What does it mean hatzi shiur? Partial of the amount. The amount is supposed to be this, and you did the violation on a smaller scale. That's called hatzi shiur. In Hebrew, the word hatzi means half, but it's not really hatzi means half. It's partial, chelek from the shiur. So let's say the Torah said you're not allowed to have hazir, pig, right, or any forbidden thing. How much of it you're not allowed to have? 27 grams kazait. That's what Gemara in Masechet Sukkah teaches us. Eretz, chita, useora, gefen, te'ena, verimon. Eretz, zet, shemen, udvash. Those 7 fruits of Eretz Israel, Gemara said, is coming to teach us measurements of things. Every time we say kazait, therefore the katuv kazait. Where does it say that? In Torah, it says eat matzah, don't eat forbidden thing. Well, where it says that all the measurements are kazait. So the Gemara in Masechet Sukkah, Daf Hey, learns that out from this pasuk. From Eretz, Chita, Usara, Gefen, Te'ena, Berimon, one of the 7 fruits is olive. Therefore, the size the Gemara says of foods that we're allowed to have or foods we're not allowed to have is always by kazai, by the size of an olive. So now, what if a person eats partial of that? I'm Schwartz brother. What if a person eats partial of that, not the full amount? He eats 10 grams of pig. He says, Rabbi, you know, I'm not going to eat kazai. I'm going to eat a little bit. I just want to taste it. One time to understand what am I sacrificing, what I'm sacrificing to Hashem. I'll eat a little bit. Mutar to eat a little bit of the hazir or no? Says the Gemara in Masechet Yoma, I believe Pei Daled, Hatzi shiur asur me'atorah. Partial the amount, asur from the Torah. That's there by forbidden things of eating. However, when it goes to the laws of Shabbat, partial of the amount, it's only midrabanan. And it plays a big role in many halachot. One of them, I'll give you a much quick, is baby wipes. One of the main reasons Rav Ovadia Yosef is allowing people to use baby wipes on Shabbat is even though it's going to be squeezing a drop or two out of it, so it's allowed. So one of the main reasons is being lenient over there is because the old prohibition we're dealing with is not the Torah prohibition. It's only the Rabbanan. Why? Because 1 or 2 drops is not enough from the Torah to be squeezing on a Torah level. It's only being squeezed on the Rabbanan level. So now we play with plastic reche, is it plastic reche, safek plastic reche, all this type of factors coming to play to allow it, bottom line, the baby wipes on Shabbat.
So what was the difference with the hazir eating? Why is it if you eat less than a kazayit, it is midoraita?
Oh, so the Gemara says, Masechet Yoma Daf Pedalid, Rabbi Yochanan says, because it could combine with another piece. You know, by eating, we have a concept. If you eat, when the Torah said don't eat kazait is a bigger measurement. You cannot eat in one shot kazait. It takes time. How much time do you have in order to eat, in order to count that you ate? Bichdei achilat pras. The amount that it takes for you to eat, 150 grams of bread, which is today like 1 bagel. How long will it take you to finish that 1 bagel? If I give you a plain bagel, how long will it take you to eat it? 4 minutes, 5 minutes, if you're hungry.
4 7.
So, yeah, right? So that's the reasons why we have those numbers. 4 minutes, 5 minutes, 6 minutes, 7 minutes. The most common one is 4, and the most lenient one is 7, 7.5. That's the max. Where we got this concept from? We also see it by Achilat Matzah, right? Matzah, if you have the round one, sometimes half of it is a kazait. If you're gonna eat, you cannot eat half of it in one shot. So how the Torah said, eat matzah on Pesach. Ba'erev tochelu matzot, right? How can you eat matzah on Pesach? It has to give you a certain time that you can start, and it will still continue to a certain time. So the Gemara says, because we see that you ate less than a kazait, and here second time less than a kazait, and third time less than a kazait, and fourth time less than kazait, as long as it was within the time frame, which is 4 minutes, 5 minutes, 6 minutes, whatever opinion you follow, it combines. However, we don't have by the laws of Shabbat, if I'll do something over here, within 4 or 5 minutes I'll do another piece of that over there, that it will be combining. By the Shabbat, the Torah says, Lo ta'aseh kol melacha. Melacha could be done in one shot. Eating, I cannot do in one shot the kazait. So the Torah had to come up with a certain time that I can start and continue until I finish it. By melacha, I can squeeze in one shot. I can paint in one shot. So therefore, over there, it either one shot is the oraita. If it's not one shot, it's not the oraita. That's only asum de rabbanan. So it's important to remember every melacha. What's the definitions of that, and what is the measurements of it? David, do we understand? Lachchak with us? Asaf Manta? So therefore, by eating partial of the amount, the asum Torah, even if it's 10 grams, 5 grams of it, asum Torah, by laws of eating, by laws of Shabbat, it's not asum Torah, it's asum de rabbanan. There's
no timing in Shabbat.
Right, because there is no timing on Shabbat, exactly. Because melacha, it's melacha. It's, you write, you squeeze, you paint, you stitch. There is no time to do this melacha.
And we're concerned, Oraita versus the Rabbanan, because of the punishment associated with it.
Not only punishment, that's one thing. Welcome to us.
If it's to help the public, you're allowed to do the Rabbanan.
Now, that's one thing. Another thing is to ask the God. Another thing, if it's somebody that was not so religious did it against your will. So there's laws. If it did something violation midoraita, if you're allowed to benefit from it on Shabbat or after Shabbat, you, others. If he did it on Shabbat, for example, right now you're sitting in this room and somebody said, "Why it's so hot in here?" Shabbat. He goes, he turns on the AC. Jewish on Shabbat.
He did it for himself.
People are sitting. He turned on the AC. Can you sit in the room or no? No, she's not regular. He went to the AC, he turned it on. Can you benefit from it or no? So says Rav Ovadia, benefiting from a turning on an AC, it's not from the Torah forbidden. It's only the Rabbanan. So since it's Mina Rabbanan, and this guy was probably doesn't know the law, he was so brazen to go ahead and do it in front of everybody. We assume he doesn't know the law. So shogeg b'de Rabbanan. Shogeg b'de Rabbanan, you're allowed to benefit from it. Same thing, these LED lights. Right. If it's the yellow light that gets hot, that's Torah prohibition. That's what we have to know, those the details. Is it Torah? Is it the Rabbanan? Is it was purposely done? If it was by mistake done? Can I benefit from it on Shabbat? Can I benefit from it after Shabbat? Can I benefit? Can other benefit? All these details will matter. That's why it's so important to know the halachot in details, because if a person doesn't learn halachot in details, towards what happens to him, you start arguing for no reason. Remember? Spoke about this yesterday? Okay. Now, another detail by the laws of Tzovea is that it has to be mitkayem. It has to be long-lasting. If it's not long-lasting, it's not mideoraita.
7 days?
No, and what does it mean long-lasting?
Yeah, what does it mean?
That it could last over there without, you're going to try to remove it like that, it's not going to come out.
Like an ink.
Oh, like ink, like paint.
I am not.
That's, it says here, והרי אתה מעבירו לשעתו, אינו צובע כלום, כל אישון מלאכתו מתקיים לשבת, פטור. We opened the Mishnah in Masechet Shabbat, in page Kuf Bet, that the Mishnah said over there, that any melacha, for it to be Toraita, it has to be mitkayem. If it's not mitkayem, if it's not long lasting, it's not midoraita. That's why it's important to know. Let's say one of the reasons Rav Ovadia is lenient about opening the bottles, right? You don't have to open them before Shabbat. One of the reasons he's lenient, he says, because even if you said that a person made a keli, it's not a midoraita. So the whole machloket, if that opening the cap of the soda, is it of the bottle? Is it, are you making a keli now or no? So some said you're not allowed to open it on Shabbat. You have to open it before Shabbat. Rav Ovadia Yosef was one of the main reasons. He was lenient. He said because the argument is on something that is temporary.
Not long-lasting.
It's not a long-lasting one.
Not always enjoyable.
Now you have after Shabbat, after you finish with this, you throw it out.
Throw it out.
So therefore the argument between the poskim is on something lo mitkayem. Something lo mitkayem is only asur b'derabanan. So therefore it's machloket on derabanan, safek derabanan, lekula.
It's a glass bottle that you're going to reuse and fill with water. It's
Oh, so now that's a good point. Now we have to tackle it from a different angle.
What he said?
Why is it okay? So if it's glass one,
You want to reuse it.
Crystal.
yeah, it's a good point. That's why the Rabbi Auerbach agrees with Rav Ovadia on plastic ones, but he disagrees with Rav Ovadia on the glass ones.
Who?
Rabbi Auerbach,
Whoever.
Rabbi Shlomo Zalman Auerbach. He says the glass one, the metal caps that people, I don't know, people used to keep it. I don't know if today people still do it.
No.
If they
it's
do-
garbage. This San Pellegrino stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's, glass. They throw it garbage.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, it has no value.
Yeah. So is
But
it
back
sound
then,
open
they
now
had
also
the-
this according to Rav Ovadia?
yeah. According to Rav Ovadia, all of them are allowed to open. Because Rav Ovadia has more reasons to that. I just told you one of them.
What about as a plastic around it?
Okay, so
What about
what?
a plastic, like the bottle has a plastic around it?
Yeah, you can rip it.
You rip it.
You can rip it. Yeah.
Okay, I don't.
But when we get to those melachot, we're gonna get into their details. I'm gonna stick to the tzovea.
Yeah.
Tzovea, second point, we'll say second halacha. We already spoke more than 2 points. Second halacha that Rav Ovadia spoke about is if a person painting shoes on Shabbat, took a brush, shoe polish, shoe paint, and he goes and he's
Same color, black.
black and black, yeah. It was faded black, and now imagine Asaf, you already got married, Baruch Hashem. Imagine your relative wants to go meet the parents, her parents. When Friday night they said we're all home, everybody gonna sit with your family, our family, come. Now this guy bought brand new shoes for that meeting. He forgot it in the car. Only available shoes he has right now is the old shoes that he used to play soccer with.
All musicians.
Now those shoes are all, already faded black. What is he gonna do? This Bechora, this miskin, what's he gonna do with him? Huh? How are we gonna help him out?
You need the Rabbanan or you need the Raita.
Oh, very good. Then you're getting the trend of it already. Huh? Now you have to know, is it the Oraita prohibition to paint it, or is it the Rabbanan prohibition to paint it? If it's the Oraita prohibition to paint it, only if his mother-in-law or his mother gonna kill him, pikuach nefesh, so then he can violate it. You can only violate the Oraita for pikuach nefesh. כחלון, בוא. לא, שם מי שיושב נרדם. סגולה להירדם. וג'ייף?
Wash your hand.
Okay. So now, said Rav Ovadia, we have to deal with this paste with 2 violations. One is memareach. Memareach is smearing. Second one is painting, coloring. Because it's a paste, there is a question of memareach. Now we spoke about that memareach. We on record, so we recap. Memareach, for it to be the oraita, which is smearing, it's another one of the 39 melachot on Shabbat. We said it has to be, Rabbi Avi, אתה זוכר?
Very thick,
Very good, כל הכבוד, זיכרון טוב.
very thick,
Very good.
and
It has to change
Layer.
it from smooth to, like, from rough to smooth.
From?
Rough to
Or
smooth.
liquidy.
That's what he
Liquid,
said.
no, liquid.
Very thick to change it. That's the oraita to be, right? And second one, permanent what?
Change the color.
You want to have
a layer.
the layer permanently there.
You
An
don't
example.
want to absorb.
An example? Maybe if the Zohar example I said we spoke about, the barrel.
You better put the wax.
If the barrel is leaking, back in the day, what used to be the patching system?
That's it.
Huh?
Batzek.
Wax, batzek or wax. They used to stick the wax and smooth it like that. And the owner of the barrel wants that wax to stay a layer over there for it not to leak.
Seal.
To seal it, exactly. So since his intentions, his kavanah, is to keep that wax over there forever, that layer to be over there forever, to seal it. Sorry. That's assumed midoraita or memareach. So there is two definitions of two requirements we need for memareach. First requirement, it has to be a thick paste, very thick, to the point of wax. Do you know how thick wax is? Huh? Wax. Switchka with a wax candle. How thick it has to be?
Mold, it stay in the shape.
For the patching you're talking about, or for the?
No. Any wax.
Oh, that's the
It's thick. This level, it's doraita. That's why, by the way, coming Rosh Hashanah right now, Yom Tov, Yamim Tovim, person have to be careful. Thank you, Meir. Person have to be careful not to warm up the bottom parts of the candles. People, what they do in order to stick to the tarelka, to the plate, what they do? They go like this with the fire, and then a few drops goes, and he's making it stand. Nachon? Making it stick and stand. This is 100% assumed midoraita.
After you make the bracha.
After Mibracha, before Mibracha, doesn't matter.
From Esh to Esh, כאילו, זה מצג יום טוב?
Even Me'esh le'esh. The Esh le'esh only saves you from Mav'ir. But the fact that you took that thick wax and with the fire underneath that, you warmed it, and it melted, it's considered to be Memareach. Because you smear those liquids, this thick thing, part of it you smear to become even layer, to be stable in your candle. And Rabbi Yosef used to tell that all the time, and many people make violations with that. They don't know.
No, that you use the tea lights.
Yeah, exactly. Back in the day, I remember when I was a child, sometimes the olive oil used to be very hard to find. And my mom used to ask me to do that. I used to prepare it before on Shabbat, to stick when she comes to be ready for her.
No Hanukkah, wax.
Yeah.
אבל שלא קיבלה שבת.
לא קיבלה Shabbat.
How's it smell?
That's no problem. I used to do it before Shabbat.
No, but he's saying it's...
No, right now Yom Tov.
you're talking about Yom Tov.
Yamim Tovim is very common.
Candles for the same
When
day.
people warm up the bottom, because they do it on Friday for Shabbat, so they think it's the same thing over here. It's meishlesh. What did I do wrong? This from fire to fire. I didn't violate nothing. Says Rabbi, no, Habibi, you have news. We have news for you. You violated the Oraita Memareach. That's on Yom Tov. You have to let the people know about this Rosh Hashanah laws. Coming up Rosh Hashanah, Sukkot, Shmini Atzeret. It's going to be a lot of Yom Tov questions or information people have to have questions about. They have to learn them in order to have questions.
People have the idea that if it's Esh Le'esh, הכול מפשר.
Ah. נכון.
I missed the last part. What did I miss?
Said something?
Melting the candle.
Melting the melting a candle for it to stick, it's considered to be smearing on Shabbat. Memareach, which is one of the 39 avot melachot on Shabbat. Eliyahu John.
Okay.
אפשר, את honey, yes. It helped me yesterday with the throat. I feel better too. Yeah. So, if so, now back to us. The paste of the shoes, is it so thick like wax? No. So therefore, the whole discussion that we have to deal with as far as memareach, it's the oraita, the rabbanan. We already brought it down from the oraita level to the rabbanan level, which is going to be a big help for us right now.
What about coloring?
Hold on, coloring, you didn't finish it. How is it a big help for us if it's the rabbanan? Eliyahu, you remember?
They can give it goy.
Very good.
It's another,
We have a rule.
another one down.
כל הכבוד. אבי, יש לך זיכרון טוב, בלי עין הרע, כל באמת.
אבימלך ישראל חי.
One gig.
One gig. What if a person has Rabbi Yosef says, a meeting with an important person? He says a minister, Sar Hashuv, or he has, I don't know, some mayor or whatever, or his mother-in-law, which is also very Hashuv. He goes to her right now, he wants to look presentable, and the shoes are not presentable. What should he do, Schwartz? Toda Rabba. Huh? Ask the guy to paint it for you. With those
You don't want to lose out.
Huh?
You don't want to lose out.
Yeah, you don't want to lose out, especially with your mother-in-law. Happy wife, happy life, habibi. I'm telling them all the time, it's cheaper to keep her. I'm telling you, if I will make you hear a recording I have, the lawyer and the father that Hashem Merachem goes through divorce about the child custody. I made somebody hear that. He right away understood that it's better to keep her.
זה מותר לעשות בהלכה? לא צ'אל קסטדי או שצריך גם את זה דרך בית דין יהודי לעשות?
At the end of the day, I have to go to the court.
אז זה לא איסור, זה לא איסור ללכת לערכאות של גויים.
It is. You have to go through with the permission of Bedin. Anytime you have to do with court.
זה עבירה.
Avera, big time Avera.
למרות שזה הייתם גם אבים. וואו.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
You have Shakol? Everybody ready, Shakol? It's good that one person says bracha for at least 3 people. If it can be 10 people, even better, but at least 3 it also comes. ברשות מוריי ורבותיי, ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם שהכל נהיה בדברו. תודה רבה. So now we have a rule telling a goy to do Isur de Rabbanan for sake of mitzvah or a big need. It's called, remember those terminologies? Shvut, the Shvut, b'makom mitzvah. 3 concepts we need. The prohibition for a Jew, if I will do it, it will be the Rabbanan. So that's first Shvut. Since I'm not doing it, I'm doing it through a goy, it's second the Rabbanan. And I'm doing it for sake of a big need, to be presentable, especially first impression to the mother-in-law. It's a big need, mitzvah. So, Shvut, the Shvut b'makom mitzvah or big need. What's the halacha? Muta.
Even
You're allowed to tell, was my next line, and you're allowed even to tell that to the goy. Goy, take those shoes, here is the paint them.
I'll pay you after.
No, pay you after.
Okay.
This is no pay you after. No, you cannot do that. But you could say whoever will help me will not lose. Whoever will help me will not lose.
What were the 3 things again? I'm sorry.
Shvut, de Shvut, which means if this writing on Shabbat, it's Torah violation. Yeah, the Torah said not allowed to write on Shabbat, right? So if I tell the goy, go write for me. Can I do it for him or no? Here right now, there's a lot of Syrians come at shuls, congregations I want to say, that they cannot keep up with all the numbers for the high holidays. So I have seen many times in the Syrian communities, they bring a goy.
Seriously?
Make notes.
Yeah, and the goy takes notes.
You have an accountant guy?
He's taking notes. He's there just for the selling. Comes in for the selling, but their selling is big numbers. It's not $18.50.
Take pictures then.
Huh?
Take pictures too.
Okay, I don't know. I didn't see pictures when I saw this.
10,000.
You, it was you.
Yeah. So now there is a debate in Halakha, writing in English. It's midoraita or no? In the Mishkan, they wrote in Hebrew.
Hebrew.
So if they wrote in English, it's doraita or no?
Even 2 letters?
Even a sentence.
What is
Torah says don't write. One of the 39 melachot on Shabbat is not to write.
If it's English or Hebrew.
Oh, comes the Or Zarua. Or Zarua is one of the Rishonim. He says that writing in the Oraita, it's only like the Mishkan writing. We learn all the melachot of Shabbat from where? From Mishkan. So since the Mishkan laws, writing was with Hebrew letters, writing Hebrew is the Oraita.
You can say if it's Hebrew.
But writing in English, it's not midoraita, it's the Rabbanan. Others disagree with him.
Any other language.
They say any other language. Laz, Lashon Laz, doesn't matter. Any other language. No, it's not the language words, it's the letters. The way the letters are. This is the Oraita, he says. But if it's a different shape of letters, it's the Rabbanan. Others disagree with him. But we have another opinions to combine. I don't want to go into a lot of details to allow such a thing to happen. And that's what you see. There is another reason that the guy could have remembered. The fact that he writes, he's not writing for me. He writes for himself. Let's say I tell the guy, you take 1% of all the money.
Right for what?
Before or after?
So the reason why he writes down, because he doesn't want to forget. Before Shabbat, I tell him, before the holiday, tell him, go, you sit down, whatever we make in the auction, 0.5%, whatever the agreement, 0.25% goes to you.
Incentive.
He has an incentive. So the reason why he's writing down, because he doesn't want to forget. So who is he doing it, for me or for him? For himself. I don't have to worry about what he does for himself. Right? That's another reason why Rabbi allows it. So back to us now. Remember this equation. If I'm asking the goy to do something that it's the Oraita, but from the Torah forbidden, this is Asur. But if it is something that is Asur only the Rabbanan, and I'm asking the goy to do that, so it's Isur the Rabbanan for me. If I do it through a goy, it's already second level the Rabbanan, and I'm doing it for sake of a mitzvah, or for sake of a big need, or for sake of a sickness, avoid sickness or treat sickness. This 3 steps equation will help you in a lot on Shabbat. A lot of times. Shvut, the Shvut, b'makom mitzvah. Shvut is the Isur de Rabbanan. The Shvut, second the Rabbanan, for sake of mitzvah. What's the halacha in such a case? Mutar. Mutar to hint or to say?
Say.
Oh.
It's 4 things, right? You know,
For purpose of one of 4 things.
4 things, right?
Yeah. Mitzvah, sickness, loss, or a big need.
Loss?
To avoid loss.
What's loss?
הפסד, במקום הפסד. I'm losing money. Yeah.
Raining.
A fire special case. The fire put aside.
Raining outside.
Yeah. Yeah.
Moving the furniture.
I bought cement. The Rabbi talks about cement bags. It's about to rain. Cement is muktzeh on Shabbat. Can I ask the guy bring it into my garage for it not to get water and damage?
Yeah.
Muktzeh is the Rabbanan. It's Shvut. I'm asking him to move muktzeh, so I'm asking a guy to do that. That's second one. Second Shvut. If I will move the cement bags, it's Asur the Rabbanan. I'm moving it through a goy. It's second the Rabbanan. I'm asking the goy, not I'm moving it through a goy. I'm asking the goy to move it for me. It's second the Rabbanan. There is no mitzvah in this.
Loss.
I just making me not lose the money. Allowed or no?
No.
Allowed.
Loud?
Wow, of course.
Shvut.
Shvut.
The Shvut.
במקום
זה
הזה.
שאמרנו אם זה... מוקצים מחמת זה חסרון כיס.
מוקצה מחמת גופו, אבל זה...
חסרון כיס, לא?
Any muktzeh through a goy for sake of avoiding a loss, allowed. Remember this.
מצווה צורך גדול.
So wait, you could have a...
Even the oven on, they can be, you can burn your food. Yes, it's going to,
הפסד זה.
מצווה צורך גדול, הפסד.
For any mitzvah, what's the mitzvah you
you
want?
say, like,
Oven to 500. She left it at 500.
your food's gonna burn.
Yeah. Tell the guy lower it.
Wait, so Goy can answer phone for you also.
Goy can answer a phone. What's the mitzvah?
That means that
יש
you
לשמור.
respond.
Yeah. Yeah. There is a to avoid the loss. Let's say right now you forgot your store open. You work in Long Island. I was rushing out, forgot to close the store. Well, what should I do now? Shabbat. Cashier, everything is open over there. What should I do? Go to your neighbor, the reliable one, and tell him to call your other employee over there to go close it, or tell him to go close it,
נועד לגוי.
or tell a guy to tell another guy. Yeah.
Goy send all the time.
About the cement. If there's only like 2-3 bags, there's no הפסד מרובה.
Doesn't do הפסד מרובה. It doesn't have to be הפסד מרובה.
לא חייב להיות מרובה?
No, הפסד.
You mentioned food before, no?
אז מותר לך להיות לך גוי צמוד אליך כל הזמן?
If you're asking to do Isur Rabbanan for you, it will be allowed.
איסור לרענן, you have to pay attention.
Pay attention, not to everything. You cannot start painting the wall. You cannot build my house. You cannot put the parquet for me. It has to be certain things.
The second one.
Drive a
Can it
car,
be a
open the
shiva
door for you.
instead of a goy?
You drive a car, open the door, put you
Let's say
inside.
you
We're on record. I said, we're recording, we're in records. I said this. Huh?
We're live.
We lied. Ooh. Okay. You talk to me after shiur. Okay, back to us. So, said Rav Ovadia, because there is no memariach over here midoraita. Why not? Why there is no memariach here? Because it's not a thick paste. Second reason, because I'm not interested for a thick layer to stay behind. I'm interested. Imagine if I'm going to paint your shoes, and anywhere you're going to go, you're going to touch, it's going to leave. Tach, tach, tach. You will be happy with that layer to stay over there, huh? No, nobody will be happy with that. Nachon? It's not like the layer you'll be interested on the wax barrel that you put on the barrel to stay over there. So, and another reason, said Rav Ovadia, not another reason, another question here. He said, listen, we have a problem. There is a color that stays over there. You do want it to stay. You don't want the thick layer to stay, but you do want the thin layer to stay to change the color.
Not to change the color, enhance the color.
Enhance the color. What do we do with this? Huh? Rav Zohar, you remember the answer for this question?
Yeah.
מה אמרנו?
הצבע קיים, אמרנו בדרבנן.
Why?
זה
Why is no memariach?
לא ממרח, זה הרב דיבר
הוא
על
מתייבש
צבע.
מהר.
Why there is no memariach right now we're talking?
ממרח?
You do leave a thin layer of the of the tzeva. You do leave it. Why is no memariach?
אז דני, אתה לא מעוניין בזה שזה יישאר שם.
אתה מעוניין, the thin layer, the thick one you don't want, but the thin layer to be changing the color, enhancing the color, you do want.
אמרנו observe, לא?
See, almost saying, say better.
Absorb.
Observe.
Hazuta lav miltahi. Remember this rule. Something that meant for coloring, it's not counts as a tangible matter.
Only if it's the same color.
No, same color or not same color, it's for the laws of tzovea. We're now talking about the laws of memariach. And I gave you an example. Forgot your name? Meir what? Sidon? Sidon? Sidon. Meir, you know, whenever in Bukharians they want to say to somebody in an endearment way, they say Meir John.
His wife, no.
Your wife knows? Baruch Hashem, so you know that. You got lucky. You made it in life. Meir John, what if a person right now has, we spoke about chatzitza, his wife wants to go to mikveh and she has chatzitza. Can she dip with chatzitza on her hair or no? Let's say she slept on the pillow, the kids left a certain gum zuletova, and she woke up, she wants to go to the mikveh with this.
Yeah.
Okay, she tried to get it out, doesn't come out. Can she dip like that? No, she has to have a smooth hair without any chatzitza, nachon? No any separation. Now she wants to go to the mikveh, but she decided that day or day before she wants to make highlights. Is she allowed to dip with highlights? Why? But it was a black hair. Now it became different color. Yellow, green, yeah, whatever they put, orange.
Otherwise, women wouldn't be coloring their hair.
So why is it allowed? Huh? It's only color that is not tangible. On the nails, the color they have, it's tangible. If breakable, tangible, you can feel it. In the hair, if you take the hair, you're not gonna feel the difference. You only see color. It's absorbed inside. Because it's absorbed inside, it's not considered to be matter. Hazuta in Hebrew means seeing. Lav miltahi.
So it's not a chatzitza when they color their hair and they go to the mikveh, it's not chatzitza.
Exactly.
So henna is okay.
Oh, hina. For the Moroccans have hina. Right now they have to do netilat yadayim. How to do netilat yadayim, Meir? You have chatzitza. What's the answer? Absorbs and it's not Tangible.
Yeah, but the skin does feel different on it, though. It's not
Also
the same.
tattoo.
It's not the same. That part of the skin that has that, it's not gonna be the same feeling as this.
I don't know. Could be because you dried it. But then because the color. It's not a color thing.
Itself, you feel, you don't feel that thing.
Also tattoo, no?
Tattoo it goes underneath the skin.
So there's no chatzitza.
If I'll take right now a metal and I'll put it underneath the skin, it's not going to be chatzitza. Because underneath the skin. Even if it's a metal, you take it out, it's a metal. So it's another reason. By tattoo, you're right, it's not going to be chatzitza for another reason.
So stitches, where it goes over.
Oh, that's already a question in halakha. If a woman has to go through stitches, dentist, if he has to go certain things, you do? You operate?
Of course.
Yeah. So there is questions in halakha when women have to go through this. You have to ask your rabbi in these situations.
Your local rabbi.
Yeah, you're Orthodox.
She has to.
You're a local Orthodox.
You're local. We're here, the local guy.
Okay, back to us. So, for those reasons, said Rav Ovadia, even though you do want a layer to stay behind, but you don't want that layer to be tangible. All you want is the color. And the color gets absorbed. Since the color got absorbed, it's not considered to be chatzitza, and therefore it's also not considered to be memareach. Because memareach is only from the Torah, only whenever I have a layer in my favor. Here I don't have a layer, I only have color. Color is considered to be a tangible thing or no? No. Therefore, no memareach. Another point we spoke about, Magen Avraham. Remember this Magen Avraham is very useful, Magen Avraham. Hand cream. Can you use hand cream on Shabbat?
Yes.
Huh?
You use it every day.
No, I don't use it every day. I came today at Shabbat, first time. Weather was very bad outside. I used a very bad salty water, whatever it is. My hands are dry.
Depends which one.
Shabbat morning, Shabbat afternoon was the first time I used the hand lotion.
moisturizer?
Do yourself on Shabbat.
Can I do it myself on Shabbat or no? Comes the Magen Avraham and says aloud.
Which one?
What's the reason?
Because it absorbs, it doesn't leave a layer.
He brings the proof. Listen, he doesn't talk about hand cream. There was no hand cream in Magen Avraham times.
Oil, no? They have-
You know how poor Magen Avraham was, Asaf? Avi, you know how poor he was? He was so poor that he didn't have enough money to buy papers to write his chidushim. If you open Shulchan Aruch, you see on the side you have Taz, Turei Zahav, you have Magen Avraham. Taz writes, page. Magen Avraham, 5 words. Very short. Then came Eshel Avraham, elaborated on what he meant. It's like coded. You know why so coded? Right. He didn't have paper, so you know where he started writing? On the walls of the house. Not to forget what the chidushim he had. Then after a long time, one rich man was stuck somewhere. He came next to his house, and he asked him if he can be hosted over there. He's stuck in the way. He saw the wall is full divrei Torah. So he said, I have no money to write it all. He said, when I'm going back to my place, as a hakarat atov for whatever you did to me, I'm publicizing all your books. You buy money, papers, whatever you need, everything on my account. Now, like this, the Magen Avraham words went on paper.
איפה רשום את הסיפור הזה?
I don't know. I don't remember. So the Magen Avraham was very, very poor, and he didn't stop himself from learning Torah. You understand, Eliyahu? That's the point of the story. Many times we have, Baruch Hashem, a lot of papers. We have to understand what generation we live in, that we have everything. Shefa bakol mikol kol.
כמו שאלתי, הסיפורים האלה מביאים חיזוק.
Yeah.
וזה טוב בשבת, בימים טובים, להגיד את הסיפורים האלה.
So therefore, I'm telling you, sometimes I have somebody that comes to the night shiur or he learns with me, and you see him already, פתאמה על החצאים כשרה, after a few minutes, לשליש ולרביע, לא שמע, הוא כבר לא שומע, זהו. הוא כבר לא בעולם הזה. I tell him, Johnny Halfesh, all day long, you were working. Kids running, shopping with the wife, shopping, and all day. It's for you to be able to have that time window that you have in the evenings to come to study the Torah. And that time, Yetzirah make you fall asleep. So comes out the entire day running to get to that goal, and you get to that goal, fall asleep. That's a person to be extra mitchazek. Not to let Yetzirah, I'll skip one day of the kollel. Not a kol, Habibi, you have to have, Agita bo yomam, v'layla. Gemara said, Masechet Shabbat, אסף תביא למסכת שבת, תביא. זו גמרא חשובה לך. לך, לכולם, לי. גמרא מסכת שבת, דף ל"א, says the Gemara over there, אמר רבא. הנה, תכתב. ל"א, עמוד א'. עמוד הבא, עמוד הבא.
מה אם בן אדם לא יכול ללמוד כל יום מראה, כי אשתו לא רואה אותו כל היום, ובאמת קשה לה, אז הוא לומד פעמיים, 3 פעמים
בסדר,
בשבוע.
בסדר. But you have to do, put your best effort, בוא תקרא אתה. אמר רבא, בשעה שמכניסים אדם לדין,
אומרים לו,
when they bring, right now יום הדין is coming, well, what do you think you're going to ask in יום הדין? First question,
נסעת ונתת באמונה,
first question is נסעת ונתת באמונה, ל"א.
then
Second question,
קבעת העיתים לתורה,
קבעת העיתים לתורה. You hear me, John? What the Gemara said? תגיד לו, אסף, what's the second question?
the second question, did you make time to learn Torah?
No, that's the time. I'm sorry.
Not
קבעת
time.
עיתים.
עיתים.
What's the difference between עת and עיתים?
Eighteen that you have a set time, like every
No. What's
עיתים.
עת is
One.
one.
Okay.
עיתים is
Plural.
two.
Okay.
Every day, a person has to
twice a
have
day. Morning and night.
set times. That is the Torah.
18.
And that's what it says, Vagita bo yomam v'alayla. So in the morning a person have to have a set time, and in the evening the person have to. It's a have to. It's not a recommendation. Listen, it's before they ask you what time you pray shacharit. If you pray shacharit, before they ask you how much tzedakot you give, if you give tzedakot, before they ask you your wife went to mikveh or not, before they ask you any question, did you have set times to study Torah? Person have to think. What am I going to answer?
Can the set time be 10-15 minutes?
Good. It has to be set times. Kol boker and kol erev. Now, the poskim say at least it has to be 1 hour in the morning, 1 hour in the evening. This poskim, so everybody said, Meir Eliyahu writes it a million times in Sfarim also. 1 hour in the morning, 1 hour in the evening. This is for regular people, working people, at least. So if a person doesn't have the time in the morning for 1 hour, he has to borrow. It says like a bank. It says you have to borrow and pay it back at the evening time. You hear this? This is halakha, rabotai. Person have to be very, very dedicated for the evening shiurim. At least, Baruch Hashem, we are now start the evening shiurim. This is all for you to benefit from all this spiritual gains for your neshamot, for our whole community. That's so important to have this program. When I said Kam Shabbat, I said, am I going to come Shabbat? We have to have a night kollel over here. If no night kollel, he's not going to move the community anywhere. The community is going to be same way for the next 20 years. If it's just Shabbat meeting, Shabbat meeting, Shabbat meeting, Shabbat meeting. It has to be something that drips. You know, Rabbi Akiva, it says you saw the rock. If one drop will fall every week, once a week, it's not going to do nothing. That's why the fact that we get together every single night, make your best efforts to make it. I know we're all busy, Rabotai. I also have two kids to put to sleep. I also have a wife. I also have whatever you guys have, I also have. But we make our best efforts to get together for the sake of our growth. Every one of us, the neshama, that's the benefit, that the studies of the Torah. Okay, so back to us. If so, right now says Avadia, this hina, this color, that it is not tangible. What is it considered to be? Hatzitza? No. It's considered to be as a layer that's left behind? No. Comes the Magen Avraham and says, listen to this. If a person spit on Shabbat, yarak. 2 days ago was Halitza in Bedin. She yarka. Halitza is a mitzvah that comes once on who knows how long. The last time I saw Halitza was maybe 8 or 9 years ago. So it's very, very rare mitzvah to see. As the Torah says, Ve'yarka befanav, or the whole thing. So, if a person spits right now, on Shabbat, on the ground, on dirt, on soil, karka olam, and he left something, unpleasant, Gemara says if a person chas v'shalom mag'il et חברו, אין לו חלק לעולם הבא. It's a serious problem. To do something that you go to the restroom, you come out and you leave something behind that is not pleasant. You cannot say, oh, it was like this before I came in. I only came to do number 1, it was already number 2 over there. Cannot do that. You have to do your best efforts not to leave that thing behind. Now a person goes, he spit, and he doesn't want people to get nasty. He goes and he smears it with his legs. On karka olam. Not on asphalt, not on parquet.
On dirt.
On dirt. Says the Shulchan Aruch. Avi, what's the halacha? What's the isur? Mutar or asur to do so? Huh? No. No. What's the reason it's asur? Maran said?
Absorption.
Mashve gumot, even on the ground. Maran said the reason why you're not allowed to do that because of mashve gumot, evening out the ground. What is mashve gumot? What's the issue of evening out ground? As a builder, before you build a house, what's the first thing you have to do?
Foundation.
Even out the ground. You have to have an even foundation. If the foundation will be crooked, the building is going to look like a Pisa tower.
You have to consider his intention.
נכון? So, comes the Magen Avraham and says, listen, why Maran is only concerned about Mashve Gumot and he's not concerned about smearing my Maria? What answers the Magen Avraham?
Because you want it to be, you don't want to stay, you don't want to layer.
That's, say, because it absorbs in the ground. Something that absorbs, there is no Memaria.
I can't agree.
Oh, so Rabbi Yosef says, you heard what Magen Avraham said? Something that absorbed, there is no Memariach. There are no smearing problem. So if I want right now, because it has to be absorbed. If you're going to put the half of the bottle on your hand, it's not going to be absorbed. So you have to be with moderation. Moderation is a
Small amounts. Not too much, yeah.
you need more, you take more. While you already see, that's it. My skin is saturated with this already. It's full. Cannot put another layer on that. You have another 4 minutes, Danny. You have another 4 minutes.
So you're allowed to use the hand cream on Shabbat, is it?
Kai Furch.
If you don't have a bunch of it on, then
You're allowed to use hand cream on Shabbat?
Okay, you have to go? Yeah, 4 minutes. We still
I know you didn't answer because we're going to go through this and you didn't want to ruin the suspense in the toilet, but Shabbat is coming up and I don't have the spray, I only have the azay. So, bottom line, is he going to say that it's allowed?
It's not our topic now. It's Tzovea.
No, the Maria.
No, this is not the topic of Memariach. Right now, he's by the way brought Memariach.
I'm sure by the way.
אסור.
אסור?
אסור.
למה אסור?
אמרתי לך, בארמו, אמרתי לך.
You asked for the bottom line.
מה קשור הבדל בין העדים? אמרת עליו, שמה, אסור.
So what can you do? Rabbi Yosef said, instead of smearing,
Watching.
dab it. Very good.
גם את זה זה עובד?
Dab, yeah. All you do is smearing.
With the people kind of urine.
Don't go like that. Go like that.
If it's jelly, it's
the Rabbanan, right? 2 smears?
it's a spray.
Yeah, this one is the Rabbanan. Depends which one. I'm talking about the spit stick one. The one that comes like 20 of them like this.
No.
לא, אחד, סלט.
But the one that is a stick,
One
Like
soap.
like soap,
כן.
thick like שעבר. It's דאורייתא.
Wow.
You can't use it.
הצחקת אותי עכשיו.
So what happens to this guy? So you should go without
You
doing
can
it?
dab it. Dab it.
Even
What
the
dab
soap?
it?
Even the soap?
Huh? Tap it? Somebody told me dab.
No, that's
Soap?
Yeah, dabbing, yeah.
Even the soap one?
Yeah, even the soap. The problem with the soap one is what? Smearing. When is smearing? When you go like
Take
that.
out a layer.
Right. When you go like that. But whenever you go like that, I left just bunches of places, spots that I applied that place, but I didn't smear it.
So water soap is not used?
No.
There's another reason. This one is allowed, but another for another reason.
Roll-on is fine.
Okay, back to us. If so, now what about enhancing the color? With this we finish. We learned yesterday. What if a person has ktav that is already faded? And that faded ktav, he rewrote and he made it more darker. Hakotev al gabe ktav. What's the halacha? Says the Gemara in Bavli. Patu.
Existing already.
So what do we see? Enhancing color. As far as smearing, we already dealt with that. That's not the oraita with the paste of the shoes. It's only the rabbanan. And what about coloring?
Coloring inside.
Yeah, you're coloring the shoe. The shoe had faded black, and you're putting right now this, it becomes darker black. What about this? Says the Gemara, patu. Patu means the rabbanan. Asumi the rabbanan. But says Ravadi, we have another Gemara in Yerushalmi. Yerushalmi said that if a woman takes lipstick and she puts it on top of her red lips, it's asumi doraita. What do you mean? But the red lips was already red. She just enhanced the red. It became more darker red, clear red. So just enhancing the color. Enhancing the color, it should have been Tzovea midrabanan according to the Bavli. And what do we say the Yerushalmi said? It's midoraita. How are we going to deal with that? So says Ravadia, the word in the Yerushalmi, it says sfatea. Isha, the language of the Isha Shevira Odem al sfatea. In Hebrew, sfatea means lips, but it also means the edge of the garment. The border of the garment. So the border of the garment, it not necessarily had to be red before. Lips are red before. So let's say she had a yellow jacket, and she took the paint and she dipped the yellow jacket, the edge, she made it red. So why she's hayav? Not because she enhanced the color, she changed the color. It was yellow, and she put the edges red. So that's not enhancing color. That's changing the color. That's 100% coloring. So that's why it's chayav. But to enhance the color, which let's say the red lips, she'll put the lipstick on top of it.
Or she put purple lipstick.
Now purple will be coloring.
Oh.
It's also be a problem of smearing because it's very thick, the lipstick.
Wow. Red the rabbanan.
Red rabbanan for coloring reasons.
Okay.
But for smearing, it's a thick one.
It doesn't get absorbed? No, it doesn't get absorbed.
No, it doesn't get
No,
absorbed.
you talk it off.
It's there.
So
So therefore,
for Yerushalmi, it's doraita because it's smearing, but it's derabanan for the color.
the lipstick. The lipstick.
It's the border of the clothing,
Right?
and it's derabanan.
No opposite. There's 100% oraita. Why? Because he changed the color. It was yellow, he made it red. So bottom line, remember, Rabbi Yosef concludes with that enhancing a color, it's only midrabanan. So smearing, in our case, it's only midrabanan. The coloring is only done because we just enhanced it. So therefore, our hatan that wants to go to his mother-in-law with the presentable shoes, since it's only midrabanan to color this color, black to faded black to make it nicer black, it will be only with the rabbanan. Ask the goy, second the rabbanan, for sake of a big need or for sake of a mitzvah. What's the answer? Will be mutar. Baruch Adonai le'olam. Amen. Amen.